it's just sometimes we want to blame the man for everything.
And they not to blame.
Understanding that maybe it was you. You know,
ain't no maybe. I know a lot of trifling wrong women. I've been it a couple times, probably.
And so I made the move. I bumped her, but I played it cool. DJ dropped Beyonce. I asked her who she catered to. She said I'm single, boo. I just hope you single too. But I ain't tripping. I'm just out having a drink or two.
What's up, everybody? It's Kristen, and welcome to another Degree Single segment. Thank you, as always, for listening. Like I said before, in my past videos, I usually begin by introducing the concept of Degree Single segments, but I'm trying to get away from that lengthy intro of what Degree Single segments are. So just check out my older segments, and in a sense, it's just a conversation between myself and guests. It's the way that I came up with to introduce new viewpoints and thoughts onto my platform, because Lord knows y'all hear plenty from me. So today I have another historic guest. Y'all know all of them are historic, if I get to say so myself. So I have another woman. So excited to have another female voice back on the show, because I had a couple men on here the last few segments, and it's good to switch the energy a bit. So this lady is a life coach, certified life coach. You know, us Black women, we serious about our credentials. Certified life coach, motivational speaker, and an author. And I'm gonna stop there and give her something to tell about yourself, because I've been told it all if I keep on going. So everyone, welcome my guest for today, Rolanda J. Buck. Thank you so much for being on, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
So what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Rolanda J. Buck, and I am here with Kristen. And you guys, I am so excited to be on this platform. It is such a great honor. I am humble and I'm excited, but just a little bit of background about who I am for those who may or may not know me. I am a life coach, like she said. I have self-published 2 books. I am currently a motivational speaker, and I'm about to graduate from school with my master's in psychology with an emphasis in life coaching. Just trying to further my education and get a little bit more clarity on how to, do great coaching sessions. But enough about me. Let's talk about my business really quickly. So Faith Builders United. You guys, I created this business off of the pure gumption of wanting to be better, get myself out of a rut, and also push those around me to be a better version of themselves as well. So that's just a little bit. I don't want to go into a full spiel because, we can talk about that later. But yeah, that's really the basis of who Rolanda J. Buck is.
Oh, well, girl, look, we are here for the full spiel. That's what the segments are all about. So look, you don't even have to keep it short for us, because we got time, okay? And
girl, see what I'm talking about? Now, did we not just had this discussion?
We did.
But it's okay.
You step on the plug.
I did.
Oh Lord, you want to sit down?
I normally, so just a quick tip for those who are listening, and you also, when you stand up, your body weight can go down, and your body still using energy while you're standing up. So normally when I do all of my live chats and stuff like that, I'm standing up most of the time. I don't do a lot of sitting down because I'm trying to use whatever energy I can to lose this good. You mean?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to sit down. That day you're gonna have to stay on me. You're just gonna have to stay on me.
Period.
Yes,
Period.
Lord. That is so funny that whole light thing happened. I don't know. I'm probably gonna edit it out, but we leading up to the conversation, I was like, it's so many crazy things happening. They don't want this segment to go forth. But this segment is gonna go forth, devil. You will not win, okay?
Period.
But yes, it is so great to have you on. I mentioned earlier when I invited you to be on that I don't know how I didn't think of this sooner, but I don't know. It's just ever since I've been doing these Degree Single segments, it's the guests have been revealed in a very organic manner. The guests and the subject matter have always formed very organically. And so observing you and your work, and even being a part of it to some extent over the years, I've just found you to be very relatable and admirable, if I can say. And yeah. So I think by the end of the segment, people are going to know exactly why I wanted to have you on. They were like, oh yeah. It makes sense exactly why I wanted you to be on here today. So thank you again for getting on. And it's actually crazy. You already touched on the next thing I had lined up. What is Faith Builders United? And you've already told us a bit about what that's about. So I'm just going to roll on with it. It's obvious that you are a woman of many talents. Like you say, you done been to school, you got these degrees, certified life coach, motivational speaker, self-published 2 books. And I'm probably leaving something out. So give us a bit of like background, like what brought you to all those roles? It's a lot of us kind of like find our one thing and stick to it, but being a woman of like multiple talents, multiple titles, and wearing multiple hats, what brought you to all of those respective things? Not necessarily at once, because I'm sure they all happen at different times, but now you have all these things going on at once. Like, how did you find yourself getting to all those places, and how do you just handle it now, juggling all those different things?
That is a great question, actually. Not many people ask me that either. So I think it's a good time to express myself. So I started everything I'm doing in 2017. That's when Faith Builders United was created, started, founded, however we want to use the dialect for it. But it started when I graduated from college. And in my mind, I thought graduating from college, I was going to immediately find a job. Well, that wasn't my ministry at the time. That wasn't my calling. And I went into a deep depression. So much so, didn't have money, no gas. Like my friends was asking me to go out places and I wasn't able to. And God used me in that moment to be selfless. He told me the only way that I could see myself in a new space, new environment was if I put him at the forefront. And that really kind of pushed me to be a better version of myself so that other people can see who he is for the most part, but also I can see myself because I devalue myself a lot when I was depressed, stressed, and just wore out tired. Mm-hmm. So what happened was I got invited to the Baptist Association for Mississippi to speak. Mm-hmm. Didn't have no speaking, no nothing. I never spoke before in front of people, but they found me because I don't know if you've seen it, but I started doing these "Can I pray for you" posts where I would just start praying for people on a constant basis. And so God was like, are you able to set aside what you're dealing with to help others? And if you do that, I could possibly bless you for your, obedience. And so when I started doing it, I started speaking with it. And God just kept giving me words. And so the whole speaking thing came about after a lot of people started following me because I was going live on Facebook constantly. And so one girl was like, you know what? You need to turn this into a thing. And all of those followers, I was like, you know what? I'm going to call y'all faith builders, you know? And they was like, you know what? I'm a faith builder. Like they just going. And I was like, you know what? Let's turn this into a whole organization. Let's turn this into a movement, a trend. And that's where Faith Builders United came. So Faith Builders United is the organization, for lack of a better word, and faith builders are the people that make up the organization. So one may say, how do you become a faith builder? Well, my platform is pretty much for those who are beginning a new journey, trying to bring clarity to themselves, trying to understand what their walks look like. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just for believers. Non-believers actually came over and was like, I love your book. I was able to get a lot from it because building faith in anything, it doesn't stem just from your, Christian view. It stems from your actual faith and belief in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So that's how Faith Builders got started. That's how I started talking to people. Just want to push people to be better versions. That's literally kind of like my motto. Better versions of yourself. Let's do that. So yeah, that's pretty much where it came from.
Look, I love that. And I'm sitting over here shaking my head like, yes. I'm thinking like, girl, Mama Hearns, when she listen to this here, she gonna love that girl. She probably gonna get to shouting and hollering and carrying out. Yes, right. Girl. That is such a beautiful and amazing testimony. Yeah, Mama Hearns gonna love every bit of that. And again, I just mentioned about like how guests and topics just kind of formulate organically on this platform. And it's like this whole platform, like your whole calling and everything that you're doing literally came out of like where you was like that season in your life. These are things that you don't even have to make up. And I really like that for people when they find that thing, because we're out here pursuing a lot of things and trying to force a lot of things simply because of what we've been told we have to do with our life and in a certain amount of time. Go to school, get a job, get a career, get a mate, have kids. And you're just kind of like forcing these things out because all of this stuff is not really coming easily and it's not coming naturally. We're just doing things, following a blueprint that we can't even be certain works. And a lot of us get deep down into these things. We get into school, realize we don't like it. We get into our majors, realize we don't like it. Get into these careers, realize we don't like it. Get into these relationships, marriages, parenting, realize you don't like it and it's too late. And so there are so many things we're out here forcing because people just telling us that's life, that's nature, that's life, and we're not really having much say so about anything. And so for this thing to kind of find you to really be birthed out of your experience, you know, just something that's after your own heart and your own mind, I can really relate to that feeling because that's essentially what Degree Single is and how it came about. I didn't wake up and say, I want to have talks like this. I want to argue with people online all day about stuff that they be like, you single, how you know? I don't know how I know. I just do. I don't know.
Literally.
I don't know how. I can't tell you where it came from or what the inclination is or what sparked that interest. It just always has been.
Yeah.
And so now it's a thing. So that is like amazing. I can fully relate and understand what you're talking about and how the opportunity pretty much developed out of your situation and what you said about obedience. And I'm actually going to get to that because I made note. Matter of fact, I'm going to let this segue into the next thing. I like the fact that I found your content to be very relatable because, like myself, it seems to me that you find messages and lessons in a lot of things. And so in listening to one of your videos one time, it really stood out to me. I'm sure you're going to know what I'm talking about. You was talking about wigs and what you learned when your mom decided to go from the sew-ins to the wigs and how you wasn't feeling it at first. And I'm sitting here with my new wig, honey. When you said wig, I was like, oh yeah, you got my ear. And you was talking about how when she originally brought the idea to you, you wasn't for it. And now you wear those things. And then also your friend, Kristen, ironically, and I remember Kristen from Alcorn. She wanted to go natural, you said. And at that time, couldn't see it, couldn't wrap your head around it, but you somehow ended up going natural before she did.
Right.
And you was talking about like how these ideas, you first of all, people ain't got to understand. People ain't got to understand, and you can bother to share because they didn't have to share those things with you. And upon sharing it with you, no, you didn't get it, you didn't see it, and I guess you couldn't really speak life to it or nurture it. But before you knew it, you was right on board. And it is amazing how things like that happen. Stuff show up and it's so foreign. And even among ourselves, we have these ideas, these gifts, these inclinations to do things. It's like, I'm stupid, I can't see it. And then you won't hear on Degree Single segment doing it.
Doing it.
Yeah. So tell me more about that. Because that was such a yes moment for me. It's like she talking about sew-ins and wigs and hair and got this whole message out of it.
So like, there's something that many people don't understand that we have to bring clarity to, bring a definition to it. And that's passion and purpose. Those are two different things, but they must align for us to be able to live a decent type of lifestyle that we would enjoy. Mm-hmm. And you said something earlier where we always want to do what the next person is doing, or we always want to, I guess, appease the next person so that they may like us or they may like what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? But just like in the video that you watch, just because somebody else is doing something and it's not likable to you in that moment, that does not mean you tear down the goals or the aspirations of somebody else. You have to find, I think, your own niche in a sense to say, it may not be my interest, but if you're interested in it, I'm going to sow a seed into that. You know what I'm saying? It may not be something that I want to do, but if I'm willing to help my neighbor and push them to be better versions, here I am again, better version of themselves, do that. Because 9 times out of 10, your blessing is connected to me because you're connected to me. So if I stop watering something that was supposed to produce great fruit, right, then I have stopped the cycle of blessings that's supposed to go forth and happen. And it's not on them that it didn't happen. God put me in a place to do something that was supposed to happen on my end. Because I stopped it, it's like, they're not going to not get blessed. You are. It's not what they're supposed to have gotten in that moment, they're going to get. But you on the other hand, you're not going to be able to get the fullness of what God was trying to do in that moment because you always want to do what you want to do. And that's going to always delay what's supposed to have already happened. That's what delays from a lot of stuff. You touching stuff that wasn't supposed to be touched. You mess with stuff that wasn't even supposed to mess with. But when you find your purpose and your passion in everything that you're doing, literally stuff that didn't make sense start to make sense.
Yes.
Stuff that what matter of fact, I'll go forth and say stuff that didn't happen yesterday start to happen today. Because not only do you not care about what's happening around you, but you care more about what's happening in that moment, what's supposed to be intentional. And then you start to look back at stuff that didn't happen. You're like, man, I thank God that it didn't happen then because it wasn't supposed to.
Ooh.
And that's the same thing with the hair incident. That was my mama's season for wigs. You know what I'm saying? That was Kristen's season for being natural. But yeah. I can't disrupt what's supposed to be going on in somebody's life because I don't understand it. Life is not built like that. You have to bring clarity to yourself. Once you bring value to your own purpose and passion, I'm telling you, everything else aligns. And I think that's pretty much the basis of everything that I talk about on my platform. Bringing passion and purpose, letting them align, and then also bringing clarity. Because they're two different things, but we'll go into that later, I know, because I read some of the stuff that we mentioned earlier. And I'll talk about that later, but go ahead.
Yes, girl, listen. You touched me right in my spirit when you said the season for wigs, because I entered my season for wigs and never left.
Period.
I never left my season for wigs. That is hilarious. But no, I that really jumped out. The fact that you got all that from wigs, I said, oh, this is my type of woman right here. The fact that you got all of that from wigs, because it reminded me of this video I did some time back about some towels. I was looking for some towels. I think I can find it. It might have been maybe 2016, 2017. And
you was your car, wasn't it?
Yes.
Talking about.
Yes. I was looking for some towels. I was in a rush to go. And like I say, at the time, any towel would do at that point in time, you would think, but I was throwing out all these other towels and looking for these yellow towels. I can't even tell you what these yellow towels are to this day. I've moved so many times, probably done lost them some time ago, but in that moment, I was looking for that yellow towel and I was throwing out all these other towels. And I was like, dang, is that how we do men? Is that how we do men? Is that how we treat our options in our dating lives? Like you got all these people, you just tossing them, looking for something that in a sense is different because I know the yellow towels are there. I know they exist. But as far as dating, they often get on our case about this fantasy. Like we often pass up reality and let time and our true partner pass us up because we have this over romanticized view of who our mate is. And we miss that. We miss the person that's actually meant for us, chasing a fantasy that if you were to step back and be realistic, it's like, does this kind of person even exist? Like you're passing up real men for fake Disney type scenarios. It's not ever going to happen because it's not real. Stuff has been totally romanticized, and we're missing out on like real life partners, real experiences. We say we want marriage and motherhood, partnership, and somebody to build a life with because we waiting on Prince somebody, one of them princes out of a Disney movie that's never going to show up. And so those towels told me that in that moment. So I definitely understand how a wig told you that.
Right.
I understand my wigs tell me a lot, but I ain't never gotten in that deep from a wig yet. And so I guess so similar to that, where does your motivation for messages and events, because we're going to get to that, your motivation and events, because I participated in one of, was it the first event you ever had?
The first one.
Tell us about that. Where does your motivation for these messages and your events come from?
So I have a lot of friends. That's the first thing. And I have experienced a lot of stuff myself. It's a lot of stuff that we like to sweep under the rug. I'm very authentic with being relatable, and I'm very authentic with any message because it's something I would hope. It's almost like me getting a friend and they say, man, you're such a great person, because I'm being the person that I know I need. I'm being the person that I think you need. You know what I'm saying? So when I do these events, it's literally something I know that somebody needs. It's something I know is going to push the envelope for our community and our peers. Like you said, it's a lot of things that have been put on TV that's not, they've created this narrative. I'll say that for lack of a better word, that people feel like they're supposed to meet. You can't meet that expectation if it never was meant for you to meet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why create an expectation for somebody and be mad that they didn't qualify, quote unquote? So these are the conversations that I have, because people can sometimes be oblivious to the notion that they're doing that. And it's like, okay, let me go ahead and put this out here, because my friends, they do it. And when you kind of break down the barriers or the layers to that, it's like, oh, you're right. But if don't nobody decide to do that and they just constantly going with the flow, it's like generational curses. Somebody has to break the mold. Somebody has to like unravel those things and say, but really you was wrong. How many people are going to always constantly be yes men? I can't take the road that's always traveled. I got to go the other route. And so that is why I have a lot of events that I have. They're normally, you don't normally see them done like that in that fashion. You don't never feel the way you feel when you leave certain events. You know what I'm saying? And so like with the very first one, Women Talking Silk, I wanted it to be so authentic to the point where people don't want to leave. And that's exactly what happened. Because we were having conversations that women want to have, but they're afraid to. All of us are the same. We're all the same. I don't care what nobody say. We're all the same. The only difference is the money aspect of it, where we grew up, or our upbringing. But the issues and the situations or the problems, they're the same. But people are scared to talk about them. For what? When they're going to help us. So when I have my events, or when I get on these cameras and I speak from the heart, because I understand. I speak from a place that's willing to listen to. Like, I don't always have to speak to know how you feel. I want to hear you too. And then sometimes people come under there, they talking like, Ro, you talking to me today, or Ro, I'm so happy I needed this message. Obedience. If I don't go out and do it, somebody else may not break a chain or something. Something may not be broken off somebody. So being obedient to what God is asking you to do in a moment, again, I say, like I said earlier, cycle of blessings. Somebody probably was able to get to the next day because of that video. And there's a lot of people who's not willing to do that because they want to obtain this image, or they don't want to disappoint somebody. When are we going to stop really caring about what other people think and do what thus says the Lord, or what you deem fit is pleasable for you? So that's why I go out there. I be like, look, don't be on the phone. I'm going to just do what I need to do. And I pray to God somebody be touched by it.
So question, because I know you mentioned like this is something we love for more people to do it, and a lot of people they just don't feel like they can or they should. But at the same time, isn't that kind of what makes people more set apart to do certain things? You feel like it's kind of your calling, because is everybody meant to be a motivational speaker? Is everybody meant to be an influencer? Is everybody meant to be a life coach?
I'm happy you asked that. Well, said that. So that's just like people saying you can only go to church and be touched by God, right? Not always the case. Not everybody's supposed to be a motivational speaker. But I can honestly say, if I go to school today and I don't feel comfort from my teacher, do you supposed to be teaching me? I can always go to literally, I probably see the trash man out there and you threw my trash can. Do you really need to be out here picking up my trash? Where is the integrity to what you're doing? So yes, not everybody is called to do it, but those who are called, will you answer it? You see what I'm saying? So, and also people like, well, I'm not qualified. Or God ain't worried about that. He qualifies the call. You know, like I always tell you, you can do it. But if the naysayers are saying what you just said, well, what if this not? You don't know if you don't try.
That's true.
Now, I will say this too. If you feel like something is not for you to do, then don't do it. But I also understand that if I'm making $2,000 from motivational speaking, now all of a sudden Sally So want to speak because I'm making money from it. Why? Like you said, if it's not your calling, everybody not called to braid hair and then I'm losing my edges. Everybody to do perms. Everybody's not called to be a deacon or a pastor. Mm-hmm. But when you are called to do something, will you answer it? Because I know for a fact it's a lot of people, and I use my best friend for an example. She has been doing hair since we were little, and she just now graduated in cosmetology. And when she went to school, she was like, I pretty much already knew everything, you know, but it was just like me perfecting it because you were already called to do it. That's your passion turned into a purpose. So I do get that. Not everybody is called to do what I do or do what you do or be the president. Mm-hmm. But when I put something on you to do something, will you do it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, girl, you done preached again. You gonna preach this whole doggone segment. All the heathens gonna be running. Hopefully, look. Somebody gonna be sitting over there gonna burst into flames. Good. Just so get this olive oil and throw it on the screen. Yeah. No. Once again, like that was so good and so many gems. So I do have a question. First of all, we talked about events. No, I'm gonna let that wait. I'm gonna go to my question. So we talked about all your many titles. See, I'm gonna get into your business just a little bit because I said this is not the Wendy Williams show. It's degrees single.
Right.
It's gonna tie into the event you have coming up. So as a woman with many titles, where does dating rank in your list of priorities?
Girl. So right now, I would like to be in the dating world. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Singlehood has been my life for a while now, but I do understand, and I'm gonna answer in two ways.
Okay.
I do understand that everybody's called to be with somebody. You know, I get that in a sense, but a part of me feels like right now is not the time for me to be dating, only because I have so much stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, will I have time to truly give myself fully to somebody else? Or will I allow somebody else the time and space to be who they want to be for me? So also I'm gonna be blunt honest. A lot of men not ready for what I have to offer. Mm-hmm. And I say that confidently because the way that people have pictured what a marriage or a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, fiance, whatever that, they have painted this picture that does not meet the standard that I'm trying to go by. Mm. And I'll give an example. Who's really having kids like that before marriage? Everybody is, you know, because it has not been a standard to wait. Or who's really trying to wait 12 years to get married and we already stand together? Everybody is, because they have not made it a standard to not shack. The definition of dating right now in this day and age is so far beneath where I'm at as it relates to trying to be intimate with anybody. And I guess that comes from my relationship with God too. I'm always go back to it. When you find purpose in what you're really supposed to be doing, you'll know when it's time to tap into something different. Right now, who I'm looking for is not in the season that I'm in. And I always tell people I'm in a transition season, which means I'm about to go to a new level. If I'm on a journey and God sends somebody with me, it's because they're going higher with me. But if I'm on a journey going higher and you just sitting there, you don't have much to offer me, but I have everything to offer you. Now, I don't want anybody to hear that and say you conceited or you this and that, because I'm willing to help you grow. But who's going to water me?
Girl.
So in dating season right now, I'm not looking for a man to just say they love me. I need you to put God before me, because I know if you're going to put God before me, you're going to constantly be in a season to grow. You can never have enough of God, and you can never love him enough more than he loves you. And if you love God like I think you should, I know you're going to love me, right? But it's not enough people that love God the way that I love him. And I'll just put God outside of it. How much do you love yourself? Because I love myself a lot. And I'm not taking the foolery, but it's a lot of women who don't love themselves on the same level that I do. And they have tainted a lot of the men that were good. Because if I can be honest, a lot of men have went for the bottom of the barrel. And you think that up here is supposed to look like down there. That's not where I'm at. That's not where I'm at with it. And so when I go into this notion of wanting to date, I want to see the image of what I think I should be dating. I'm not looking for the image of my father. I'm not looking for the image of my best friends. I'm looking for the image of God. What do you know how to pray for me when I'm going through? What if I'm grieving? Can you get me out of a bind? I don't need your money. I need your love, your protection. I need you to say that I'm all in for you. You know, but it's too many people wishy-washy. You want to be all in for Deborah, Sally Sue, and whoever else. And then you got bukus of kids with multiple people. So there's extra people in a relationship that you have to have relationships with because that's a part of who you are. So I can't carry your bags and mine.
Listen, diaper bags at that. Look, we ain't just talking about bags. We got diaper bags.
I can go on and on. You know, I'm not going to sit here and bash men. That's not because I understand too. I have a lot of growing to do myself.
Yes.
Confidence need to be a little bit higher. I need to be a little bit more stable financially. I have my own issues, but I don't shy away from that to get with a man. I tell you up front. I be up front, but a lot of people not authentic like we are. And then we get the backlash for being 100. We get the backlash for saying everything that another woman don't want to say because you willing to lose yourself just for a temporary moment. It's not gonna last.
I don't know. And Chad, you said so much. If I would have stuck a pen, I would have been, my screen have been covered in pens. And there were so many things. I'm trying to remember, I guess, exactly which ones I want to touch on. Let's go back to standards, okay? Child.
Let's talk about it.
Interesting, because are they not standards or just have we gotten away from them? Because everything you mentioned, this is what a lot of people don't know about me. And I'm so glad to have the opportunity to say this for the listeners.
Right.
I think a lot of people, they read my posts and they listen to what I say, and I am progressive in a sense, okay? Some people probably consider me modern and independent, which I feel like both of those words fit, but not for the reasons they portray. And so when people started, because, you know, men are a lot more vocal now, and it's great. They have their own platforms. And we're really getting into their mind. We're really getting to hear their hearts and minds and understand them, which can only be beneficial, even if we don't like what they're saying. Right. I know a lot of people like Kevin Samuels, they get a lot of backlash. Some people love him, some people hate him. But to me, anytime you're getting a man's truth, there can be nothing but benefits to that. I don't have to like your truth to appreciate it. I don't have to like your truth to get something from it. You can only gain from a person's truth. Even if what you gain is that I just stay away from you, I don't like your truth. Well, now you gain safety. Now you gain assurance that that's not where you need to go. And you can stay in a safe place, and you can scratch somebody off your list with peace of mind and no curiosity to go back and keep dabbling in a situation that you know you ain't got no business being in. So I think there's only benefits to that and that truth. So when people, I think they would classify me as modern. I think they would classify me as independent. But they don't understand, I am raised very, very traditional. It's just funny that my mama got a daughter like me that is as progressive as I am in some ways, but people call me very modest in my appearance and stuff like that, like super modest, like the way a lot of people dress these days. Absolutely. Mama Hearns ain't going. She ain't going for it. We couldn't dress like that coming up. You couldn't do that. Her mantra was you can be appealing without being revealing. And I say it now, like people hear it and sure, dress however you want. I be around women that have their booty butt cheeks out. We go out, we talk, laugh, do whatever we want to do. I don't care, girl. That is you. You know, it don't take nothing from me. So the thing is, like, I'm around any type of anybody that I get genuine love and friendship from. We can spend time. It's whatever. And I'm not trying to put nothing on you. But in my friends group, they're like, you're very modest. You know, the lady that got their booty butt cheeks, they be like, oh, you modest, you know? And so there's that. And then I said something today about having all these doggone kids? Why is y'all having all these kids for these men that ain't keeping you? Or turn around and say you can't keep them. Why? Why is you giving them anything? Oh my God. And so and you know, this whole accountability stuff, I am so sick of that word, but it is what it is. Accountability is floating around, and everybody needs to be accountable on all sides. But I'm of the mindset if people was more responsible, we could be less accountable. Okay? If people were more responsible, there would be less things to be accountable for. But see, people ain't even trying to, we ain't even trying to get to that.
Okay. Oh, let me say this real quick before you even go any farther, Sue. So, and I don't want to say too much. It's going to take away from what we're going to be talking about on the other. But I really want to bring in the notion that women have become so broken, in a sense, till we search for broken men to heal us because we're on the same plateau, right? Mm-hmm. When you're on the same plateau with broken people, you're only going to shatter more because you don't know how to fix yourself. So how they going to fix you? And then on top of that, we have these grand expectations for people who don't even meet the expectation for themselves. How can you tell a man to treat you like a woman of blase, blase, and you don't do that for yourself? It's almost like me asking somebody for $1,000 and they can't ask me for $1,000. That looks silly. It looks really silly. And so I like when you just mentioned, a lot of people call you modest. A lot of people call me holy roller. They say, oh, you're going to pray for me. You're going to do this and that. It's not the fact that I'm happy you use that as a way to describe me. And I don't want to be, disrespectful on your platform, but I'd rather that than somebody call me a 3 or 4. I'd rather that than somebody saying I'm sleeping around with somebody. Yes, you want me to pray for you? Because behind closed doors, these same people that do that in public, y'all in my DMs, I'm going through something. Can you send one up for me? Can you intercede on my behalf? Mm-hmm. Like you said, hold yourself responsible. Because a lot of stuff that you've been in, that you had to happen, is because you made poor decisions. We have 2 things, mistakes and poor decisions. Mistakes say, I didn't see that hole right there. That's my bad. Poor decision says, it's a big sign that says it's a hole right here, and you still jollied your butt over there and fell in the hole. Mm-hmm. Which one? But you want people to have sympathy. You want men to have sympathy, but you put yourself out there. And then also on a man perspective, it's like you haven't met a real woman yet. And so that's why you always looking for somebody to play with. You can't play with real women. You can't. And that's why they leave them quicker than they stay with daddy over here. Mm-hmm. Because a real woman not finna play with you. And that's another reason why I'm currently single. I don't play. I don't have time to. I'm not a child. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. Go ahead.
No, everything you're saying is like exactly right. And it's, I don't know, I feel like these discussions need to be had because like you talked about standards, I don't think they're gone. I think they've just we've deviated from them. We've departed from them, but I think they're very much here, and they're here among our generation. Because when people talk about traditional stuff, I'm like, was raised pretty traditional over here. I'm the one in my family. It's like, how you fit in with the rest of them? I'm like, we're all like-minded individuals. We might not be like actioned. We probably don't do the same actions. You'll see me in different places doing different things. We all like-minded individuals. People be like, you 30 now, why you ain't got no kids? Because I ain't got no husband.
Talk about it, Sue.
I ain't got no husband. To me, and I understand people doing it in a different order, but like you say, the standard has been, and I understand that stuff is rooted because me and Mama Hearns talk about it all the time. Because I can be aware of our beliefs and also be aware of the world. And I think that's what kind of puts me on that spectrum of like progressive enough. Why people think I'm progressive is because I'm aware. I'm aware people are having kids out of wedlock. I'm aware everybody don't feel like that's the way. I'm aware that's not everybody's belief system. I'm aware everybody don't believe in monogamy. And I like talking about that stuff. I like understanding that stuff.
Mm.
As for me in my house, though,
because that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. But again, if somebody doesn't set the standard, who will? And that's why some of us, we are always set apart for a reason.
mm-hmm.
Because the things that God has for us is nothing like another man has seen before. And I say that all the time. We require different things. People like me, you, and a few other folks that I know, Jasmine Smith, she's one of my great friends. We're set apart because the things of today's society, we don't go for it. That's not something we're looking for. And on top of that, who really wants that? Is who wants to be sad and depressed about another human being? Now, I'm not saying that the route that we may or may not be taking is much more safer than this route. I'm not saying that, but if I can overlook this to be in a better position, I'm going to do that. I will not risk my heart being broken for temporary measures. I'm not going to do that. But that's what a lot of people are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
They just living for the moment. And it's just like, but how long will that moment last? How long will it make you feel good until it makes you feel bad about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And then you want people to sympathize. Well, it wasn't really that bad, or it was just one time. And it was just, I can't sympathize and empathize with people when you're constantly doing the same thing that you know you're not supposed to be doing. And I'm not, and I'll be 1,000. Not super religious in a sense, because I know a lot of the bylaws, for the Bible. It's a little, people like to use that to be judgmental and manipulative to the new people who want to believe. So I try to use different mechanisms, if you will, to show people like being Christ-like isn't bad. And being Christ-like isn't saying that, oh, you can't date anybody. But being who you truly supposed to be does require you to hold yourself to a standard and making people do the same thing for you. Because if it's easy to break it, then you've let the world break you. And it's just like, who are you going to let define who you truly are? The world or yourself? What are your beliefs looking like? Your standards, your values, your morals?
Yeah, I agree. And I want to be clear for the people that's going to listen. In no way is this meant to be like, oh, anybody's better than anybody. Because, child, if y'all going to see me, I be outside. I be ready for hot girl summer. Y'all going to see me at parties. And y'all going to see me with a little outfits, fitted dresses, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But again, for the most part, I still think about Mama Hearns, and I'll be like, kind of help me, set some boundaries. But it's like, it's just it's interesting that people look at society as a whole and feel like these things are void. I'm like, dang, boy, it's just what's happening. I don't know if we're like in this experimental stage. Tradition ain't gone. I said all that to say that traditional is not gone. And standards, a different set of standards, because I'm not going to say that is the standard, because people define what's the standard for them. Do I feel like some standards produce better outcomes than others? Yes, I do. But that's subjective. Everybody's gonna feel their own personal way about that. But I don't feel like it's gone, but I feel like it's hard to say like where we have gotten ourselves to, because with the conversations that I do have, it just don't make sense. So I don't know if we call it standards, YOLO, people just doing what they want to do. But even that don't make sense, because all you doing is making life hard for yourself. I don't mind about you wanting to walk your own path. Like I say, me and my own mom is such a example of like how values can vary, how values can still vary. She's a very traditional woman, and she raised me and instilled a lot of stuff in me. And I still don't quite see everything the way she does, but we still learn from each other. And I feel like a lot that she has given me has helped me walk a certain path in this life. And it's not that I haven't found myself where other people are, but I ain't gonna keep finding myself that many times. Now, when you dodge a bullet, you stay gone. Now, don't keep running, head first into it. And I think that's what we see a lot of people doing. You know better, you're supposed to do better. So I've had to be in positions to learn better. But when I learned, I applied it. I didn't expect to keep doing the same thing and not getting the same results. Like, if you keep doing this unprotected thing with the same type of sorry, you gonna keep being in the same type of situation. And that just be my thing with women. Is like, listen, especially Black women, they say our credentials, we the most educated, we the most this, we the most that. At some point in time, our statistics have got to begin to match that. Now they say we're some of the smartest, some of the highest earning. Why are we still falling victim to some of these things that we're falling victim to?
Right.
Why are we toting around all this diaper baggage by ourselves?
Right.
Why? Why? Where the husbands at? Like, and I understand. And again, these are things that men are vocalizing, things that we can be doing because maybe we've gotten away from wifely things. And I personally feel like all of that, the way husband and wives look like, I feel like all of that has evolved. I'm not saying we necessarily got away from what it's supposed to be. Yeah, man can still be the head, this and that. I ain't got no problem with that, but I feel like it has evolved. Okay. And I think that's what makes me appear to be progressive and modern and super independent. But I never thought of independent as the way that I've learned. That term is kind of off-putting. There's a lot of criticism of it right now. When I think about independent, it's like I say, hey, I'm gonna go to Chicago. And it's like, well, you ain't got nobody to go with you. Okay, I'm gonna go to Chicago. It's like, I don't need nobody to go with me. I'm not afraid to make long drives. I'm not afraid to carry heavy things because I don't have nobody there to do it for me. It's like, I can't make this move. When I was getting ready to move to Indiana, 22, 23, I was moving by myself, but I wanted to go to school after I identified something that I thought was good for me, to go to that program, get my master's degree, and I had to relocate to be there. And so I was gonna go. And people's like, you ain't got a husband. I'm like, do I need a husband to move and go to school? But I guess in some people's mind, I guess, I don't know. And so I think it's just, in some people's mind, that was independent, but that wasn't to say I don't want no husband. I just ain't got one right now. Do I gotta wait on the husband to pack my boxes and get in my car and drive up there and go further my education? So to me, that's what independent is. Like, you get up there, you go, you make that drive, you pump the gas. When I'm with men and they in my car, they pump the gas. It's not like, oh, I'm every woman. No, you pump the gas, you take out the trash. But if you're not here, I'm not sitting around waiting. It's not, things getting done is not dependent on someone else coming to do it. That's my definition of independence. The things that I need done for myself as a living, breathing adult individual is not dependent on someone else coming to do it for me. If I need a bill paid, I go to work. If something heavy needs to be lifted, I do it. Or I ask for help, I go seek help. Right. Like these aren't things that have to wait on somebody. I know how to make it happen. And it's not me making these things happen because I don't need a man. I had never associated my independence per se with me not needing a man and not wanting a husband and not being positioned to get one. Never thought about that. That's literally new to me. And it's something that I've been coming to terms with and trying to understand more throughout my conversations. When I say independent, it's like, Kristen needs them done. She gonna run out there and do it. She gonna go figure it out on her own. She may call her parents. If she needs some help, she'll let you know. But otherwise, she usually got it and she gonna take care of it. To me, that's all it was. But now it's this big thing like, oh, y'all ain't gonna get no husband, this and that. But I've come to learn, again, from me and vocalizing, independence got turned into that because women who also can be categorized as independent also have these off-putting ways and characteristics and attitudes. To me, that ain't independence. They are people who are independent who also got nasty attitudes and off-putting behavior. To me, that's not independent women. Because I'm a woman that's independent and I love to wash dishes. I tell people be surprised at how domestic I really am. I ain't never said I wouldn't do it, but yeah, I will put a roof over my own head and live in there by myself and still do domestic things and not wait. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I don't know. So I think all these like standards and values and stuff, yeah, I think they've just gotten buried to some extent because they're very much there. I see it all the time in young marriages, modern marriages. So people say those words as if they oppose each other, but there are modern, traditional people, modern people with traditional values or modern people with values regardless, because all good values ain't traditional. I think a lot of us in our generation are coming up with new values that are good. They need to stay. They are deviating from certain types of discipline. You ain't got to beat your kids black and blue to get through to them.
Right.
Now, will kids get popped? Yes. You can get popped, but no, you will not get abused.
Right.
No, you will not get abused.
I think, in all honesty, though, just to put just a blank term on it, we have redefined what things look like so that it can be more suitable to our excuse to do certain things. And that's just point blank period about it all. But I love that you express that, because like I always say, when we bring definition and stuff for our own, it helps other people to find a different perspective about why they view things in that condemnation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I absolutely love that. Like, and I wish I could have like took a snippet and just took it with me. But that's the thing that I hold near and dear. Women being able to express themselves and not always per se bash the man for having their perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem that I've seen with women. And sometimes some of my friends be like, you always taking up for the man, you always. And it's not that. It's just sometimes we want to blame the man for everything.
And they not to blame.
Understanding that maybe it was you. You know,
ain't no maybe. I know a lot of trifling wrong women. I've been it a couple times, probably.
but it's a learning experience, and that's something that I also do on my platform. I bring perspectives on both levels. I'm not biased at all on nothing I say, and anything I've said once, I can certainly say it twice. And I know a lot of people be like, "Bro, you always do this, you always say that," and I say it because, like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat and it be perfect. Just because a 9 look like a 9 to you doesn't mean it's not a 6 to me. Depending on how you looking at it, that's how you will view it. And also depending on what your upbringing looks like. So I love the way that you express like being independent. You are exactly correct. And I also want to say, like, men use that as an excuse to not be with a real woman. You see what I'm saying? We would use anything to explain why something is something, you know, and it's kind of, it delays and it sets us back a lot in a sense for relationships, because that's one of the reasons why we don't see a lot of, well, I ain't gonna say that, because I have seen a lot of people get married, but they don't last. People get married for the moment, because you realize the person that you thought you were marrying, they really not that person. So the woman that you thought wasn't, you know, was just gonna sit at home and do it. No, she want to go and work. She don't want to be at home all the time. She don't want you to just be the breadwinner. Getting to know your person is very important. And I think that's the reason why people have this notion about what independent is. Because some women don't want to do nothing. Some women do. Some men want to be the breadwinner. Some want to cut the bills down in half. But if you're not expressing that at the get-go, like at the jump, how do you, who read minds?
Nobody. Nobody. Oh, yes. I don't know why people just talk, ask the question, but I don't know. I think that could be off-putting. I'm very inquisitive, and people laugh, and I'm like, this is a day one question. This is before I even decide if I even want to date you. And some people might feel like that's too straightforward. And again, it may be off-putting, be put off. I want you gone. Anyway, I need to know that. If you are scared of a question, everybody want to deal with truth. Everybody want to deal with reality, but you scared of a question.
Yeah.
I don't want you. I don't even want to see what you do in real life. I don't even want to know what you do when the going gets tough, right? Yes, I got questions for you. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this? What are your views on this? Oh, I don't want to sit down with you. I don't need to know nothing else. Thank you. And you need to ask questions. How? I didn't ask men before. What? How do you feel about bills? Everybody arguing about this on Facebook today. What you think? Because that's what I'm gonna be living with. I need to know.
At the end, you can't answer those minute questions. You ain't ready for the big stuff. I mean, but to be honest, certain, like, oh, that's another question that could be asked. What's off limits on the first date? Because at the end of the day, people have this notion of who should pay the bill, or Okay, so when I go on a first date, I've never even been on a legit, I've been on a date, but I don't even name that date as a date.
I ain't been on nothing. Don't none of it count.
When you go on a first date, these are questions you need to get to know somebody. I ain't trying to go to the movies on no first date. I'm sorry. Because at the movies, we watching TV. I'm not getting to know. I watch TV at home. Let's be innovative about first dates. Let's go on a hike. Let's have a picnic. Let's paint and sip or do whatever case where we can verbalize and get to know each other. Because the more you get to know somebody, the better you can understand if they are, if they will coincide with what you look like as a future. Like, what does your future look like as far as dating somebody? Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. People don't know it. If you ask somebody right now, what do you find in a man? The first thing they're going to try to name physical features. And it's if that's the focus point,
yes,
you've already lost.
And money. That's why earlier when you was talking about can he pray for me? Can he this and that? I'm like, yes. When people be arguing about bills, I'm like, I ain't no broke, lazy woman. So I'm not worried about bills getting paid. And I'm not gonna marry no broke, lazy man. So money is not a concern. I'm literally not talking to you about money. We not gonna be poor and destitute. If I feel like you're the type of man to be poor and destitute, I'm not sitting down with you. We passed some days of struggle of. We work.
Right.
Okay. And we understand that we need money to do things. We not in the age of that struggle love. And if you still on that struggle bus, I'm not going to sit down with you. So to me, that's not even an argument. And then I don't understand because people keep saying women so independent. Why they can't get no man? I really don't know. And I think it's on both sides. But again, it's if you're so critical of their independence, if you're so taken aback by that, like I said, that independence is one small thing, at least the way I interpret it. But I'm understanding people are making that a much bigger thing. And that's why I'm glad to have this platform, because maybe we can debunk some of these things. But it's if a person has their own, and a lot of men feel like it's not economically feasible to do it all. So you want people to come with their own, and I come with my own. Why you got a problem with it? I don't understand at all.
Oh, and let's not talk about the woman making more than the man. Because I'm just if you're not looking for somebody, so let's just get down to the butter of it, the meat of the situation.
Yeah.
Where are you going to look for these people? If you're going to go to a strip club to find whoever you want to be dating, you know what the quality is. Now, I'm not saying that we have to be judgmental for those people in those spaces, because, it is what it is. That's your life. Mm-hmm. But when she says she coming home at 2 and 3 in the morning because she just leave work, why are you upset if you knew that's what you were getting to? Yeah. So just to go back to what you were saying earlier, it's
that's literally her job.
Money don't always be the issue. Don't go and try to talk to somebody that's in that space. Talk to somebody else. Go and look in a different environment. If you know you want to date somebody that's fit, you can't go to the grocery store and KFC.
I'm like, why y'all ain't meeting women in the gym? It's so many Black women in the gym. They swear we don't work out. I'm like, I'm in there. I love every time when I'm in there and it's just straight Black women. I'm like, this must be Black ladies' night. Because it be other people in there, be white women, Asian women, it be all type of people in there, but it be some nights I land in there and it just be straight up Black women, every shape, size, and all of them in shape. That's another thing, this misconception that if you're not a certain size, you're not in shape. Them ladies be getting in and lifting more than I can even fathom, but all of us is in there. All of us is doing our part. And it's women don't take care of their body. Do you? You must don't go to the gym, because there's plenty of women up in there. And they probably outnumber you. So you literally can look around and take your pick, sir. Because I make sure, listen, I go to the gym a certain way because you might meet a man up in there. Now, yes, I'm there to work out.
Right.
I'm there to work out. However, I try to stay presentable enough. Presentable enough.
Be intentional, sir.
Yes, because you know you might be serving double duty, and it has happened. Hello, ma'am. Hello. And you got to make sure it's like a real hello and not a creepy hello, because he probably watched me doing my squats or something. So he kind of on some creepy stuff. Some of them just kind of, you know, a little more genuine. So you watch them out the corner, y'all make sure they ain't on that. But don't be like, you won't fit women. Go to the gym. And don't be sitting here saying, ain't no black women in the gym. Most people nowadays, any kind of person you can find, there's an Instagram hashtag for it. Hashtag black women in the gym. Hashtag black women who work out. Hashtag black women who exercise. You're going to see a million of them. You want a black librarian, a woman who's well-read. Hashtag black librarian. There you go. Like, people just complain. That's why I ain't complain about who out here, because I don't have no problem finding the kind of man I want. Now, they might have a problem finding me, because I ain't going to with you.
Talk about it,
stranger danger. I know they out here.
That's good.
But yeah, people got to do their due diligence to find one, to be who it is that they want, because you don't need to be asked for nothing that you're not. But do your due diligence, like ask people these questions, and when you're not getting the answers you need, go. I know people be saying you can't be so quick to give up on folks. Go. Go. So there's that. When God says go, go. So, girl, speaking of all this stuff, doing our due diligence, what questions to ask? Tell us about virtual date night. What is that about? Am I going to be my husband? What can I expect?
So, virtual date night, it came about when I was having a conversation with a few of my classmates, and they had this grand question that I absolutely love. And it's, well, he asked, why do women think that men are the reason for their insecurities? And I think we stayed on that topic for about 30 minutes straight. And I was like, man, I want to hear some other perspectives about this, amongst other things. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to do it on social media because, you know, I normally go live on like Facebook or Instagram. I want it to be an intimate setting with adults. And when I say adults, I'm not talking about people that's on here that don't want to have an open mindset. Like, I want you to be open. Yes. Listen before you speak, so that you can understand why this is being said, so that you can get the emotional intelligence for the next person. Like, you can read the room, see why they're feeling, you know. Everybody is not trying to be harsh when they say certain things, and especially when it's referencing like relationships. People be so defensive, and I'm like, why? Right. It's just a question that needs an answer. And guess what? You have the option to answer it or not. If you don't agree, if you don't like it, you don't have to indulge in these things. So that's why this event, you have to have the Zoom code, and it's free. You know what I'm saying? You are welcome to come, but that's why you need a Zoom code to get in there, because I'm giving you the option now. If you want to be in, type it in, come on. But when you come here, please know this is adult conversations. But also too, I was very selective and very intentional about the people that I had on the panel. So you, of course, single, but progressive. And myself, single, but I'm much younger in a sense when it comes to relationships. Not in age, but relationships.
I was like, now, wait a minute.
Not in age, but relationships. And
college. Like, weren't we all there? Much younger.
But and the other two guys, one is recently divorced, and then the other one recently married. So you have a diverse panel that has different experiences with men and women. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted. I wanted something that was diverse and be able to speak from different perspectives. And also, this is only the part one to my heels and bow ties. So a lot of you don't know, but I was supposed to had this event, I want to say maybe last year, 2 years ago, but COVID happened.
Yeah.
And heels and bow ties, it's going to be kind of like the main thing where we're going to unravel some deep conversation. So this is just a preview, but the event was kind of just literally off of that conversation. You know what? Let's open up the dialogue. And something else that I mentioned, and if you guys are interested in coming, it's going to be December 1 at 7:00. I'm going to post another flyer with the Zoom link. If you have not watched Acrimony, please go watch Acrimony and be ready to have a discussion, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that as well. That's another topic that I think was kind of like a big thing when it first came out.
Yeah,
I kind of want to bring that back up just
still
to
be
literally.
It was.
I had that. I think I asked another one of my guy friends when we had our Friendsgiving, and he was like, "I think she did too." But and again, like I said, I was like, "Okay, that's your opinion. Let me talk." And he just hollered. He was like, "Nah." So, like I said, and I told him, "Look, you got to be able to hear me out now."
Yes.
But yeah, so we're gonna have those discussions around Ned and just talk from a man and woman perspective. Nobody is wrong. That's just your opinion. But do know if it ain't ethical.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, somebody gonna say something to you about it, because everybody's on my panel. We are very outspoken, straightforward. And it's not to say that we don't have emotions for other people, but we know when you just out of line. It's like, come on now. You don't judge. So that's why I want to make sure I had great people on there. And a lot of people that said that they're coming, they're great vocalists as well about relationships. We want to see people get married and stay married. We want to see people have children where they get to see both of the parents. And I'm not saying both parents equal great childhood. I'm saying I don't want children to be the beginning of another generational curse. You know what I'm saying? Of another. So we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about all of that.
All right. So yes, to everything you just said, super excited about the event. I'm so grateful again that you invited me to be a part. So I'm definitely looking forward to that conversation. I got my acrimony. I'm getting my acrimony flashcards, baby, because I got a very unpopular opinion about acrimony, and I can't wait to talk about it. I actually have posted about it before, but I think it was so long and it was so many years ago, people probably don't remember. So it's going to be new, and it ain't the man or the woman, but somebody was definitely wrong with that movie. So I am ready to talk about it in acrimony. Acrimony ain't never gonna get old, girl. Never. So, one thing that I like to introduce now to my segments is like a game or of some sort. I guess you could call it a game, but since you are the faith builder, I just want to throw a couple things out there to you and just say, as a faith builder, what would you tell people to build or restore their faith in the following areas or situations? So I'm gonna name, I guess, different areas and situations. And you, as our like supreme faith builder, what would you tell people to help them build and restore their faith in that area? So the first area is pursuing your dream or using your talent. How would you help somebody build their faith if they don't have any yet, or restore their faith if they lost it along the way or something, in pursuing a dream or using their talent?
So first things first, identify what that dream looks like for your future. That's the first thing. Second thing, understand if that wasn't something you was called to do, it's not going to work out. Realize and do understand that everything that you want is not connected to the desires that God had for you. And we have to make sure that what we want out of life matches his desires for our life. The next thing I would tell you to do is research. Find out the proper tools necessary to make sure you succeed at whatever it is you're looking for. So I'll use myself as an example. When I became a life coach, I started looking at other life coaches. To be at the top, you must follow people that's already there or trying to get there. Look at your surrounding and say, am I around the appropriate people that looks like what my success looks like? Am I willing to go forth and still produce even if I'm not seeing the crops being sown? You know, am I still going to chase the dream even when the dream doesn't look chaseable? Like, is this something you willing to die behind? Because if not, if you're not willing to lay it all out and go all in for it, this is truly not something you actually really want to do. Mm-hmm. So really just kind of define what that looks like for you and go all in. Don't half step.
Okay. So somebody needs their faith built. Woo, I think we all need this. Dating in modern society. What would you tell people to build or restore their faith in dating in this society?
So I will first say that you are worthy enough to receive whatever it is you're looking for out of the dating life. Build your confidence. That's the first thing. Don't let anybody tell you anything outside of. Don't look for another man or another woman to validate you so that you can feel secure in that relationship. Find out what it is that you're looking for in a relationship. That's the first thing. Again, like I said the other time, put yourself in a predicament to receive that. Prepare your place, your table, your plate, whatever that looks like. Prepare yourself ready. Because if you already know it's yours, then it's yours. But if you are having second guess about, if I will or won't, then you won't receive it. Your faith have to be 10 toes in whatever it is that you're looking for in a relationship. And also, too, don't just settle. You don't have to settle to receive anything. Keep your standards where they are, and you will truly get where you need to be as far as relationship is concerned.
Okay, agreed. 2 snaps to that. Okay, so another area. How would you encourage people to build or restore their faith in embracing their differences or their unique characteristics? Something that maybe has caused them to be like an outcast of sort, but we know now they've probably been set apart. So how would you encourage people to build or restore their faith in embracing their differences or unique characteristics they may have identified about themselves?
Nothing about you is bad. Okay. That's the first thing. You are so much of a enough person, anything about you was created with intention. There's absolutely everything that you are doing right now that's needed for the world, but we can't see it if you don't want to, show us. You're not a black sheep. You're not an outsider. You're not an outcast. You're the right person. You're unique. And I truly believe that whatever it is that you have in your mind set forth to do for this world, you could do it. You have a passion that we need to see. You have a purpose that the world needs. What do you do to bring life into humanity? And not only that, to bring life to yourself. There's a lot of stuff that you have swept under the rug that needs to be uncovered. It's your time right now to do it. You don't have to wait on nobody to tell you yes about anything, because if it's already on your heart to do, trust me, God is already ready to bless it. It was given to you with intention, for a purpose, and a desired need. And you already know you're good at it because you had the thought to do it. If you can see it in your mind, if you've dreamt it, if you feel it, if you've touched it, it's already yours. You're not an outcast. You're not an outsider. You're none of that. When you describe yourself, don't even describe yourself with negatives. I always think positive. Let's feed the positive. We give so much avenue and we put so much life into the negative thing because that's what we've settled with. We're okay with that because we are, I guess, become complacent with it. But it's like, when are we going to chase the good stuff? Because that's what the good stuff.
That's right. Well, girl, you done built my faith tonight. I know that much. And I hope everybody that listens to this gets the same thing. And I have no doubt that they will. So I just want to thank you, thank you for being on and just give you your flowers right now. We always talk about give people their flowers while they can smell them, hear them, maybe hear them because we speak of flowers, but whatever these flowers are, I want to give you yours because like we mentioned earlier today, when you had your very first event, you invited me to be on the program. I don't even know how acquainted we were at the time, so we reached out to me. I'm like, I can't even be sure that she like knew me well, or anything like that. And I was just doing stuff on social media. And I want to let you know that that moment was really instrumental in us sitting here today on my platform, right? Us being here, for us there even being a degree single, let alone a degree single segment. I can say that was a direct byproduct of that invitation because that invitation in that moment let me know that like I was onto something, and the things that I was saying and doing on social media had some value and could carry over, into real life, because there I was, part of your vision based off the things, that made sense in my head. And I just had to put it on social media, right? So you valuing my opinion enough to allow me to share it with your audience really validated me at that time. And I met people at that event that I've kept up with and supported in their business and other endeavors. Because I remember you had vendors there. And I think it was like cash only at the time, and I didn't like bring cash. And so but I kept up with them and followed them and purchased things like, so your vision has proven to be fruitful. And here we are preparing to do it again, for the virtual date night. So I just thank you for what you have poured into me and how you have always made room for me in your work.
Oh, man, I really appreciate that. So, look, to God be glory. I'll go to God. And I will say this too. Please don't stop doing what you're doing. I don't care if anybody don't understand it's not for them to understand. There's a reason you're doing this. You're touching a lot of people that you don't even know. When your posts are being shared, and when people can say, man, she owns something she's doing, a lot of people may not even say it in your presence, but there's a lot of people that's talking great things about you in rooms you're not even in. That's how good God is in your life. And I do pray that you get to see the fruits that you're already setting out and letting go forth to multiply, because you are just that great. Like, even when I very first reached out to you about my event, I didn't know you like that. But I seen what you was putting on social media. That's how God is too. Like, you don't have to be qualified to do a lot of stuff. He already qualified the cause. Mm-hmm. So keep doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see your future endeavors come to pass, because I see God working in your life. So thank you for having me on.
Yes, same, all the same. So look, we're going to wrap it on up here. And I'd like to end with this. If there is any way that we can support you, where can we follow you? Where can we find what you're doing? I know you got merchandise. I know you got platforms. You got let's put it all out there. And I'm going to add the links and everything when I upload it. So yeah, let us know where to find you, how we can support you, what to look out for from you, anything you want us to know about.
Oh, man. Well, first things first, I do have the event coming up December 1. Be on the lookout for that. So how you can follow me? You can follow me on Instagram at Faith Builders United. You can also follow me on Facebook at Faith Builders United. And I also have a women platform just for women. It's called Women Called by Purpose, which is like just a segment under Faith Builders United. So you guys go and follow. Come join the gang. We out here.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I will make sure to link all of that so everybody can find it. Thank you. Look, real quick, I got to shout out my team to make Degree Single possible. So we just gonna thank God. Look, he's been present all throughout this thing. So we thank God. We thank myself and Jervis McGee, because that's my team. Jervis McGee of Jervis McGee Music. He provides all my music needs that is heard throughout my segments and my videos. Matter of fact, I got on his shirt right now. It's probably backwards, but it say Act Right. But that ain't no gospel song, so we ain't gonna y'all go stream it, Act Right. But might not need to hear that mess. But that's for when I'm out there disappointing my mama. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, check out Degree Single. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube, degreesingle.com. New merchandise on the way. Thank you for everybody who has supported us far. You supported as well, the Ready to Mingle tees. So I thank you all for everything. Hey, I will look for you in the comment section.
I just want you right now. Nothing else matters right now. Can I get you by yourself somehow and show you how I really get down? I just wanna show you where I live, baby. We can talk and chill. Baby girl, I'ma keep it real. So baby